ReefDVMs coming at you today with how we're going to improve our skid steer bucket for the farm. Skid steer buckets are very versatile things, and in the winter months they're great for moving snow. Our 320D has a snow bucket that we normally have on in the winter, but as it gets here to spring we're putting back on the construction bucket. The construction bucket is very versatile, but we can make it even more versatile if it can pick things up easier, such things as engine blocks and tools and equipment. One of the ways to do that is add a 1/2-inch pair of forged hooks. These things are awesome. They hold thousands of pounds, especially when welded on right to the top of the buckets. I almost wish they came on as a factory option that you could put on. But since they don't, you just got to take a grinder here like we are, get through that two-part paint that's on there. Once you get through it and get it all cleaned up and nice and smooth, you're basically ready to weld these bad boys onto the bucket. Lining them up is, I guess, kind of preference. I've seen people kind of put them at angles, in towards the bucket or out towards the bucket. I don't really care. I like to just kind of get them nice and straight. They work great for me. I make sure though on the bottom side of these that you also rough them up. Obviously when they're made, they sometimes come with a coating. Sometimes they have grease on them to keep them from rusting, so make sure you scuff that up too. And then basically I set them in place and I hit them with a tack weld like I did here. And then, I finish going around them. In this case, I'm just going to MIG these things right in. It's fairly clean metal because of how I ground it around it. And, of course, the hooks themselves are very clean. So the MIG works the best for me. And because I'm not the most advanced welder, I can lay the nicest and strongest bead. And, of course, I can take my time and build it up because I want a lot of strength on the sides of these, too, because probably going to hook chains to them and lift blocks, pull logs, whatever we need to do with these things. They're just a great addition to a skid steer bucket. I highly recommend it. For the $15 a piece that these things cost, depending upon where you buy them, you put a pair of them on like this, and just make sure that when you tip the bucket up, they're not going to hit the wheels or anything like that. In this case, they don't. We're putting them right next to the traction plates there where you step on the beast. They work really nice. Here's one side all done. I just gotta knock some of that little beaded slag and stuff off that happens there when I MIG weld. I'm using a carbon argon gas on a Fabricator 211i. This thing can stick weld, MIG weld, or TIG weld. But the one thing I've noticed with it is if I get my shielding gas turned up a little bit high, sometimes I'll still get a little bit of splatter even from that. I just go back with the grinder and quick knock those off, or a Schlag wrench. So here I am. I'm just going to do the other side of it here. Just going to weld these things down. And again, I'm going to show one pass, but I'm actually going to do about 2-3 passes and really build it up and make it thick. And then when I get done with that, I'm just going to head down to John Deere and grab some medium gloss John Deere black and paint the bucket up just so it looks nice again. And then these hooks will be on there for years. I've never broken one off. I've had them on 3 or 4 different buckets that I've used, and they've worked fantastic. I can't tell you how versatile it is to be able to hook a log chain up and pull out a log, or hook a chain up and lift an engine block off the floor. And even at times I've had to pull another tractor out of a bog or out of a garden area or somewhere it's gotten stuck. It's just really nice to have these hooks to be able to hook onto. And again, one on each side I think works best. If you can put them, roughly in the same spots, then you can even pull as a team with them on a single chain or even using multiple chains. I think this is the best way to improve a skid steer bucket. It's one thing that I wish, like I said, that would come installed already from the manufacturer on a skid steer bucket. But since it doesn't, grab a welder or a friend with a welder and buy a pair of these and weld them onto your buckets. And I guess it really doesn't have to be a skid steer bucket. You could weld these onto a tractor bucket too. I think they're a really good tool to have around. A pair of hooks on a bucket just makes the bucket more versatile. Here you can see we painted it up. We've got it looking really nice again, and these things are ready to do some work. And granted, they'll probably never look this clean again, but that's the way they go. This is how we improved our 320D construction bucket for John Deere. I hope you enjoyed the video. Please like or subscribe to our channel. We'll keep putting out great videos like this, folks. Also, I'll show at the top of the screen here a couple links. One to the welder that we used if you want to see the video on that, and then of course one on the skid steer here too. Again, thank you, folks.